You're watching the March to March presented by Principal Financial Group. We're at one of the shrines in all of college basketball, the Greensboro Coliseum. It's the home of the Uncg Spartans, and today, the final game of the Southern Conference regular season, the Spartans taking on the visiting Bucks of ETSU. From here in the Triad of North Carolina, we head to the hills of Western North Carolina for the upcoming SoCon basketball tournament. And out of today, we'll find out which teams are seeded 4 through 6 based on who wins our ball game this afternoon. Hi, everybody, and welcome in with Terrence Oglesby, Pete Gannady with you. So the fact that Uncg knows they're already off of having to play in the opening day on Friday, ETSU is, well, they've confirmed that they're going to play in one of those 2 Friday games. Regardless of all of that, you want to be playing your best basketball heading into postseason.
Well, it's put up or shut up time. We're creeping into March, and the SoCon tournament's going to be one to watch in Asheville, as you mentioned. But this Uncg team has a chance to make a run and win the whole thing. Mike Jones has done a terrific job, but it all starts today. Both of these teams need to step up, set the course, gather their momentum heading into Asheville.
Now, an interesting backstory in the ball game today. In all of Division I college basketball, there are 15 sets of brothers playing on the same team.
And 2 sets of those brothers are playing today, starting with Ty Brewer and L.A. Brewer. Ty, we're going to focus on him. It's always the brother that scores the most points, but we're going to talk about Ty, who does all the other things. He's a tremendous athlete that lives well above the rim, and he attacks the offensive glass. He is terrific when he does all the other things for the ETSU Bucks. And you want to talk about Ladarius Brewer, somebody who can really score. They put him in multiple spots on the floor, a terrific scorer. And if they had some more wins, Coach told us that he could be the SoCon Player of the Year. He is that kind of scorer. And you look at the Langley brothers as well. Keyshawn gets all the credit most of the time, but Kobe has been terrific. 30 more assists on the season. He's an excellent defender. And this Uncg team goes as the Langley brothers go. High pressure defense and good with the ball in their hands. They can make their teammates better.
These 2 teams have won each of the past 2 Southern Conference championships. They've played a tight series over the years, and ETSU has won their past 2 visits to Greensboro. We tip it off when we come back after this. Senior day in the Greensboro Coliseum for Uncg, the starting lineups. And Terrence, let's also emphasize ETSU, a ball club that's only been playing a half a dozen, maybe 7 players a game in the recent couple of weeks.
And it's going to be tough because ETSU is at their best offensively when they're able to push the pace a little bit. Jordan King and Ladarius Brewer, but they call him LD Brewer. Those 2 are really good on the open floor, but they got to balance it because, as you said, only 6 players that they're going to play with consistent minutes. It's going to be a bit of a balancing act for Coach Oliver. And for Uncg, DeMonte Buckingham is another guy to keep an eye on. He is a very well-rounded scorer, and Coach Jones loves to put him in different spots on the floor to score, whether it be in the mid-post, on the perimeter. He is very versatile in how he can score the basketball.
Buckingham hit a jumper from right about mid-court to close out the first half in the initial meeting between these programs in Johnson City. Uncg rallied and got the win, so they go for the regular season sweep. One of the seniors for the Spartans, Muhammad Abdul Salam, jumps against Ty Brewer, underway here in the Greensboro Coliseum. What has been a rugged Southern Conference regular season. Some fantastic battles, several games decided by 1 or 2 possessions. And the regular campaign concludes on this floor today. David Sloan, first attempt of the game. Buckingham comes away with it for Uncg.
And a strong defensive possession to open up by Uncg. I've had the privilege of seeing about 20 SoCon games. As far as defense is concerned, they are up there towards the top with their ability to get on the line defensively. And you'll see their communication level in transition as well.
Here's Ladarius Brewer. And the battle for the rebound. ETSU comes into the game 4th currently in a really interesting NCAA stat. The Bucks have made a 3-pointer in over 1,000, or right at 1,090 games. Only Duke, Wisconsin, and Western Kentucky are ahead of them. It goes all the way back to the late 80s, their streak of making at least 1 3 in a ball game. Neither team able to happen on the offensive end until then.
Got a little Brewer to Brewer action. Ty Brewer running the floor, and his brother L.A. finding him deep in the post. Nice job. L.A. Brewer sizing up his man, but Ty does a nice job sealing low, finishing with the offhand and drawing the foul. Ty Brewer is somebody to keep an eye on as this game wears on, and if they're going to play with fast pace, this is where he can excel.
Ty's the younger brother, 75% from the line this season. The Langleys, who we featured in our open for UNCG, they're twins. Keyshawn's about 9 minutes older than Kobe. And that's Kobe. Out high with Tracy.
ETSU playing a little bit of a 2-3 matchup zone, and they're going to stick to that because of their limited rotation, try to save some legs for the offensive end.
Caleb Hunter. And the bumpy start continues. Spartans 0 for 3 from the field. David Sloan began his career at Kansas State. Ty Brewer. And a newcomer to this program this year, Jordan King, who's been a fantastic shooter. Having one of the better three-point shooting seasons in a long time for ETSU. And a rainbow with the hand of Abdul Salam in his face. And an early 5-0 advantage.
And the Siena transfer, Jordan King, that's what he can do with the basketball. He's only about 6 foot, but he has knocked down so many threes. 12th nationally in total threes made. Jordan King gets him up, and he can get he can get hot in a hurry.
Abdul Salam on the wing to Hunter. They'll reset with Tracy. Tracy coming off a big game scoring. He came here from Robert Morris this season. Another miss by UNCG. ETSU pushing the pace. LA Brewer. Hunter defends and denies.
You see the kind of athlete that Caleb Hunter is here on his senior day. Was a starter last season, Pete, but he's somebody that can impact the game in a variety of ways. And Coach Jones said, you know, he's completely bought into what we're trying to do. Both coaches in the first year with their respective programs, and you need guys like Caleb Hunter who's willing to buy in immediately.
The lid remains on. Spartans starting 0 for 5 from the field. And Mohamed Abdul Salam picking up the first personal foul.
Jordan King attacking the mismatch. Little step back. Nice move. Nothing but net. Jordan King's a nice player. Good spotlight at the one for you. David Sloan, who's handling the ball right now, he does the majority of the ball handling. But Jordan King has developed his game coming off ball screens, creating shots for himself. Really nice player.
Strong move. Ty Brewer can't get the roll. Abdul Salam pulls it down. Dante Tracy plays with pace, although as a team, UNCG doesn't necessarily try to move it too fast. Scrambling for the ball, able to get it on a wing to Kobe Langley. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Step back. And the first bucket of the game for the Spartans. They're 1 of 6, but Langley tightens things up.
It's a big-time shot. Typically you don't love step-back threes, but Kobe Langley's proven that he can make that type of shot. Able to create just enough space to get the shot off, despite being a little bit undersized.
King blew right past Buckingham for the bucket.
And that's a rare defensive miscue. Caleb Hunter coming over a little bit late, but because Jordan King shoots the ball so well, then he's able to create opportunities around the rim. Jordan King, somebody who they have to jump out on and respect that three-point shot, and as a result, he's able to catch a couple of easy layups.
Buckingham. Kobe Langley in the corner, shot clock under 10. Defense collapse, he goes over Sloan and uses the glass.
And that's what he can do. I mean, you make the first one, you create a little bit off the bounce. Keyshawn, coming out of high school, was the higher recruited player, but Kobe has proven during his time in the collegiate ranks that he can both score and create for his teammates, and his quickness off the bounce has really been showcased here early.
UNCG's made 2 straight field goals after their 0-5 start. Tracy, 6 assists in the first meeting, the UNCG win in Johnson City. And Caleb Hunter out high. Ty Brewer defends. LA Brewer reached in and creates the turnover. Sloan got a little fancy, and it cost him. Tracy looking to feed Hunter. No, he'll keep it himself.
Dante Tracy, that's a big-time move. Little Euro step action. Right to left. Robert Morris transfer. Really crafty with the basketball. Not overly quick, but quick enough to keep the defense honest. When he gets out in the open floor, he can be pretty good.
7-2 run for UNCG. Jaden Seymour will be called for the charge.
That's great defense by Abdul Salam. Big time. Getting over, sliding in front, taking the charge.
First foul in the game on Jaden Seymour. Got to play some defense, got to play some offense in the SoCon. Dante Tracy, he's got speed, he's got finish on a Euro step through in a 7-7 game. And you're watching the March to March, presented by Principal Financial Group. Halftime winding down here in Greensboro, North Carolina. A tight one in the final Southern Conference regular season game of the season. UNCG at home up by a point on ETSU. Welcome back into the Greensboro Coliseum with Terrence Oglesby, Pete Hannity with you. And so far a game, I think, Terrence, the pace of which is each team's comfort level.
Well, it's been a defensively driven game. Both teams mixing up some defenses, trying to throw the other team off base.
Now it's senior day here at UNCG, but the big story so far in the ball game, a sophomore guard for ETSU.
Well, Jordan King doesn't care about your senior day. He has been tremendous at every level scoring the basketball, whether it be off the dribble, step backs, over the top, off the catch. Excellent pass by David Sloan. Or whenever they're starting to guard you a little closer, just keep scooting back, Mr. King, and he can knock it down from way beyond the arc right before the half. He has been terrific. And for UNCG defensively, they've done a nice job getting out, getting in the passing lanes and creating opportunities. The only problem, Pete, is the fact that they haven't finished some of these layups in transition. They're leaving some opportunities on the table, but defensively pesky have the Spartans been. They just need to be able to capitalize on some of these mistakes that the Buccaneers have been making.
UNCG, the best in the SoCon at limiting points, allowing fewer than 65 points a ball game. And so far, their defensive prowess has been very solid in terms of forcing turnovers. 10 in the first half for ETSU. What else jumps off the page at you?
Well, just live ball turnovers are the thing that's going to get you. And Kobe Langley, we talked at the beginning of the game, hey man, he wants to be an all SoCon level defender. Well, he's proving it so far today. 4 steals and live ball turnovers. If you're ETSU, that's the way that UNCG can run away from you at home. You got to cut down on those because you can't set your defense. And so far in this game, ETSU's done a nice job in the half court defensively.
28 first half points for ETSU. King has scored 14 of them, and it's the Bucks who forced the turnover. King doing a good job just saving that. Seymour, a guy who's got huge upside, he kicks it back out to Sloan.
Big time upside does Seymour have. Was a top 50 kid before an ACL injury his senior year in high school, and David Sloan can do that. The Kansas State transfer, big strong body, gets downhill, able to finish tough shots. But we were talking about Jaden Seymour, number 22 on ETSU. He's obviously completely different style of play from the previous, I guess the previous administration, if you will. Previous coaching staff love to get out and push it.
Yasser off the steal, gets it back from Sloan and finishes. Wow.
Yasser just can, I don't think he can jump over a phone book, Pete, but he just finds ways to finish. I mean, this young man just does all the right things, runs hard, gets out in the passing lanes.
UNCG trying to break a 6-0 run. Make it 8-0.
Come on,
with a
Pete.
fancy finish.
Come on, Pete. That would have won the NBA dunk contest 3 times over. And I'm not sure it has a lot to do with the windmill or how bad the dunk contest was, but at the same time, that's ridiculous. In a game? Big time stuff by Todd Brewer.
And Tracy on the other end. Big bucket to stop the run for UNCG. Back within 3. Dante Tracy, a guy that they need to pick up the scoring, and over the last couple of weeks, he really has contributed more offensively, not just distributing the ball, which he does so well. 70-65. Interestingly, head coach of ETSU, Des Oliver, said he thought his team could win like a 75-69 game. Kobe Langley, though, keeping us with some suspense. It's a 2-point game with 5.7 to go.
And big time shot, yet another one. Now it's a 2-possession game. Imagine if he'd have hit that free throw earlier in the game. They'd be down 1 right now. It'd be a 1-possession game after the foul. We'd have some things differently. Got to knock down free throws, but regardless, big time shot.
ETSU team that's trying to win for just the 3rd time this season in 9 games when they trailed at the half. They were down by 1. UNCG 12-2 this year when they were up. Now granted, it was basically a tight game. Keep in mind, it was UNCG that rallied for the win on the road, and after falling behind by as many as 5 in the first half, we could see that out of ETSU with just 6 players seeing action today. That's That's pretty remarkable, I think, in this high level of a game.
Well, they got to close it out. And Mr. Sloan, David Sloan, was terrific here in the second half, but it's turned into the Kobe Langley show.
8 points in the game. His 9th will clinch the win on the road. Just the 4th this season in 14 road games for ETSU. And for a 3rd straight season, the Bucks win against the Spartans on UNCG's home court. Coaches shake at midcourt, each first season guiding his respective program. Season series split, each winning on the road. UNCG and Johnson City, and the Bucks of ETSU with a huge second half out of David Sloan after a big first half out of Jordan King. They get the victory here this afternoon. So now we're set for Asheville. Men's tourney begins on Friday. ETSU, the 8th seed, against the Citadel Bulldogs. That'll be a heck of a game at 5 o'clock Eastern time, followed by Mercer and Western Carolina in the 7-10. And you see how the outcome of this game sets the rest of the field. Chattanooga Mocs, they are a good ball club. They've had some key injuries down the stretch, but they've got Malachi Smith, a one-man show. Wofford and VMI should be a great 4 versus 5. The 3-6 is Samford and UNCG. Furman awaits the winner of Mercer and Western Carolina. We've had a lot of fun today, Terrence Oglesby.
It's been a lot of fun. It was David Sloan in the second, Jordan King in the first, but ETSU with all 6 of their players, and a terrific game by them. Big win heading into tournament time.
For Terrence Oglesby and our entire crew, Pete Hannity saying so long from Greensboro, North Carolina. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.